Today in iPhone, item number 115, January 18th, 2010. AT&T lowers some pricing.
Welcome to Today in iPhone.
This episode is sponsored by eReader.com. Go to eReader.com and use the promo code TII10 to save 10% off your order. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and this is the Today in iPhone podcast. Today's episode is being recorded on Martin Luther King Day in the middle of the day, so any background noise you hear is my two sons making a racket. First up, I want to thank Alex for the artwork for episode 115. Alex writes in, decided to make you a wallpaper. I used layers, brushes, PhotoFord, and Photo Genie, and the TII app. I hope you like it and would love if you would use it for the show. Regards, Alex. Well, Alex, very nice artwork. Can see why it took many apps to create it. Very intricate. Thank you very much. Folks, if you want to check it out, you can see it in the album artwork in the iTunes client, or you can see it as the wallpaper when you download it on your TII app. In this segment of How Wrong Were They?, we have the following quote. Quote, consumers are not used to paying another couple $100 more just because Apple makes a cool product. Some fans will buy it, but for the rest of us, it's a hard pill to swallow just to have the coolest thing. Unquote. Neil Strother, NPD Group, 22nd January 2007. See, the problem, Neil, you made there is you think people buy Apple products because they're cool. We don't. We buy Apple products because they work, they're fun to use, and they're easy to use. Not because they're cool. Yeah, they're sexy and they look good, but that's not why we buy them. There's a lot of sexy products out there people don't buy. But Apple products are functional. They're easy to use. They're enjoyable to use. That's why we use them. And yeah, they're sexy. That's a plus, but not the reason why. On the promo code front, we are now out of promo codes for iInject and OTF surfing. Thanks to both developers for supplying those, and thanks for everyone that sent in emails. I should have replied to all your emails by now. We are going to be starting a new segment here on the show, so hopefully we'll be getting more promo codes. Let me just read the post I put up on this. And if you're a developer, you definitely want to pay attention. And the post was titled iPhone App Elevator Pitch Challenge Segment. Calling all developers. We are introducing a new segment to the Today in iPhone podcast. It's an elevator pitch challenge for iPhone apps. What we are looking for is a 60-second audio recording by you, the developer, talking about your app that is already in the App Store. This must be in your voice, no celebrity or guest voices. You can either record on your iPhone or computer and email to us at todayiniphone@gmail.com, or you can call in to 206-666-6364. Please note, it is a hard, fast 60-second limit. So you go 1/1000th of a second over, and we'll cut off any extra audio, even mid-word. So keep it under 60 seconds. The challenge part is we will play your recording along with 2 other recordings from other developers, then ask for listeners to vote by emailing in for a promo code for just one of the 3 apps. So your app must be a pay-for app, and you must supply at least 5 promo codes to participate. You can supply more than 5 promo codes if you like, but to keep it from being biased in the audience to say, I want to pick this one because they have more promo codes than the other one, we're going to say only 5 are available for each app. Of course, we will give out all that you supply. After 7 days from when the segment airs, we will count the votes, i.e. requests for each promo code, and put up the results in a blog post on the site and also mention on the next episode. If you would like to participate, please send us your recording first. Do not send the promo codes yet, as they expire and we're only doing 3 apps per episode. Once we have you scheduled, we'll let you know and then follow up a week prior to the airing of the segment for the promo codes, but we must have your recording to schedule you. Placement in episodes will be based on a first-come, first-served basis. No pay for placement is allowed, possible for this segment, so no, we're not going to take any cash to get you in this. Your only cost is the 5 promo codes and the time for making the recording. Please also send a link to your iTunes Store page and another link to your website when you send in your recording. We use your website link to tag for upcoming show notes, so we need both. When we provide the promo codes to listeners, we'll be asking for them to write reviews in iTunes and blog/tweet about your app, but that's all optional. Plus, your app will get mentioned in at least 2 episodes and 1 blog post on the Today in iPhone site. If you have any other questions, please email us at todayiniphone@gmail.com or just send me your recording. Again, first come, first serve, so get us your recording. And that was the end of the post. And I'll say this to developers. Have some fun with it. But remember who the audience is. This is regular users. Don't get overly technical. Don't get over geeky. Just talk about your app and why it's good and why they would want to get a promo code, why they'd want to try it out. And hopefully for the listeners, this will be a nice segment that will keep going on and on. I've got a few developers I talked with before I made this announcement, and they all like the idea. So hopefully this will be a nice way to get a steady stream of promo codes in here for each episode, each week, however often we do it. TheWeek.com has an interesting article that tracks the Apple tablet rumors back from September 2002 up until the present. My favorite is from Digitimes, which said, quote, Apple plans to start shipping a 15-inch tablet PC-like device with a detachable keyboard in the first quarter of 2004, unquote. That was said back in 2003. Seems Digitimes has lots of experience when it comes to making stuff up. Reporting on rumors. If you want to see the whole timeline, go to the link at todayandiphone.com for episode 115 for Apple tablet rumors, a timeline. Hey, some iPhone news. From Wired comes the report of a JavaScript hack that enabled Flash on the iPhone, or enables Flash on the iPhone. Quote, because it works inside the Safari browser, it isn't subject to the dictatorial rules of Apple's App Store. The software is called Gordon, and it doesn't actually allow Flash itself to work on the iPhone. Instead, Gordon is a JavaScript runtime written by Tobias Schneider, which allows the browser to play and display .swf files. Does this mean that the iPhone now supports Flash? Not really. You can't just visit any site that has Flash, because the hack only works on sites that have installed it. Developers would need to add this runtime to each instance of their Flash on their site, although calling the runtime only requires a few lines of code, unquote. If you, on your iPhone in Safari, go to paulirish.com/work/Gordon/demos, you can see for yourself. Click on the one titled trip.html. That one actually shows a nice little Flash animation. Because you know that the analysts are never wrong, we bring you the latest facts from the analysts at AVI Securities that said on Friday that the Apple tablet is, quote, in full production, unquote. They got this information from the famous unnamed source, this one being a component supplier Variety. Their analyst also said, quote, production for the new Apple tablet is expected in Q1 with annual shipments perhaps reaching 10 million units, unquote. Which at this point, we need to take with a grain of salt, this rumor, shall we? Actually, what probably happened if they really were talking to a component supplier to Apple, which of course, Apple's going to spill their beans to their component suppliers. But what will happen is Apple would ask for a quote, and they would ask for all the major price breaks. And they may only be intending on buying 1 million, but they would say, okay, give me the price break at 5 million and 10 million. So then the supplier says to them, well, Apple asked for a quote for 10 million units, so they must be planning on 10 million a year. No, actually, Apple's planning on maybe 1 million a year, but they're planning on getting it for the pricing that you're going to quote for the 10 million a year. AT&T is giving some of their customers for the iPhone a delayed Christmas present. Actually, it's for all voice plans. If you were an unlimited customer and you were currently paying $99 a month for the unlimited voice, now that has been dropped by $30 to $69. Unlimited data remains the same at $30, and unlimited texting remains the same at $20. But the voice did drop by $30. Now, if you were like me and you had the 900-minute plan, there's no change in your bill. If you had the 450-minute plan, no change in your bill. If you had the 1,350-minute plan, you will no longer have a plan. Well, you won't be able to get it as a new plan. You still have your plan, and you still can continue to pay, I guess, at the higher rate. Or you can just switch over to an unlimited plan for $10 less a month than what you're currently paying. From what I've read and how I understand this, you do actually need to log into your AT&T account if you're unlimited or in the 1,350-minute plan and change over to the new $99 unlimited plan. So this isn't something that they're going to do for you. You do need to log into your account and make those changes. In order to keep this episode under 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and end it there. If you want to actually hear the remainder of this episode, go to todayandiphone.com and look for the current episode. Or you can go to iTunes and subscribe to the Today in iPhone podcast. That way you'll be sure to get every new episode when it comes out in its entirety.